There is a time to speak and there is a time to remain silent, but sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is not respond at all. See, arguing with someone who disrespects you often drags you down to their level. It pulls you into a space of negativity where emotions run high and nothing productive comes out of it. When you engage in endless arguments with someone who has no intention of understanding you or showing you respect, you're simply giving them your energy, your peace, and your focus. And for what? To prove a point? To defend your worth to someone who has already decided they don't see it? Silence, on the other hand, is not weakness. Silence is wisdom. Silence says, I value myself too much to let this situation drain me. It is a strategic decision to rise above the noise, to step away from the chaos, and to protect your inner peace. When you choose silence, you are in control. You are no longer at the mercy of someone else's need to be right or their need to tear you down. You are saying, I don't have to attend every argument I'm invited to. Choosing silence allows you to conserve your energy for battles that are actually worth fighting. Not every comment needs a response, and not every challenge needs to be met with words. In the heat of disrespect, silence can speak louder than any defense. It shows that you are unbothered, that you refuse to let someone else dictate your emotional state. Silence can also give you time to reflect, to think clearly, and to decide how you want to move forward, because not every fight is yours to win. And sometimes the best victory is found in walking away with your dignity intact. When people disrespect you, their goal is often to bring you down to where they are. They want to provoke you, get a reaction, and pull you into their negative space. But here's the key. You don't have to meet them where they are. When you know who you are and what you stand for, you have the ability to rise above the pettiness, the insults, and the negativity. You are not obligated to respond in kind or to mirror their behavior. Rising above means choosing to maintain your character no matter how low someone else goes. It's easy to get caught up in emotions, to fire back when someone disrespects you, but real strength is found in restraint. Rising above doesn't mean you're accepting the disrespect or letting it slide. It means you're choosing to respond with integrity. You are deciding that your values, your peace, and your self-respect are worth more than any temporary satisfaction you might get from lashing out. When you rise above their level, you're showing that you're not controlled by other people's actions. People who disrespect you often expect a certain response. They want to see you get angry. They want to see you lose your cool. But when you remain calm, when you choose grace over bitterness, it throws them off. It shows them that you operate on a higher plane, that you won't be reduced to the level of petty insults and immature game. Rising above is not just about maintaining your composure in the moment. It's about demonstrating time and time again that your actions are guided by your principles, not by someone else's bad behavior. This kind of elevation requires discipline. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. You're not trying to prove anything to them. You're showing yourself what you're made of. You're reminding yourself that your strength doesn't come from stooping low to engage with those who have no intention of seeing you rise. It comes from taking the higher road, even when it's the harder road. By rising above their level, you preserve your dignity, your power, and your peace. There comes a point when you've done all you can do, when you've set your boundaries, when you've shown grace, and yet the disrespect continues. That's when you need to realize that not every relationship, not every connection, not every situation is worth holding on to. Moving on is not a sign of defeat, it's a sign of wisdom. It's knowing when to let go of what no longer serves you, what no longer aligns with your peace, your growth, and your self-respect. Sometimes we hold on too long, hoping people will change, thinking if we give just a little more, things will get better. But understand this, you cannot change people who do not want to change. You cannot make someone respect you who is determined to see you in a lesser light. When someone shows you over and over again that they don't value you, believe them the first time. Know when it's time to walk away from those who refuse to honor your worth. Moving on is not about giving up. It's about preserving your energy for spaces and people who are deserving of it. It's about recognizing that you cannot grow in an environment that consistently tears you down. When you move on, you are choosing your future over your past. You are deciding that your purpose is too important to be weighed down by the opinions and actions of those who don't see your value. It's important to understand that not everyone can go where you're going. Some people are in your life for a season, and when that season ends, it's okay to release them. Holding on to people who disrespect you will only keep you stuck in a place where you're constantly battling for validation. Moving on means freeing yourself from that struggle. It means choosing to surround yourself with people who uplift you, support you, and recognize the greatness within you. Moving on, though painful at times, is a powerful act of self-love. And sometimes it's the only way to truly protect your peace and elevate your life. Moving on requires courage because it often means stepping into the unknown. We get comfortable with people, even with their flaws, even with their disrespect, because we fear what might come next. But holding on to relationships or situations that undermine your worth does more harm than good. You cannot thrive in an environment where you are constantly questioned, where you're always proving yourself, where you're trying to extract respect from people who are unwilling to give it. Sometimes the best way to handle disrespect is to remove yourself from it altogether. When you move on, it's not about being bitter or seeking revenge. It's about reclaiming your power. It's about understanding that you have the authority over your own life to decide what and who gets to stay. You are not obligated to tolerate toxic behavior just because you've known someone for years or because you've invested time in a relationship. Time is precious, but so is your peace. And when someone repeatedly disrespects you, they are telling you that they do not value the gift of your presence. This doesn't mean moving on will be easy. It often comes with a period of grieving, of letting go, and of processing the loss. But you have to remind yourself that staying in a place where you are not respected is far more damaging than the discomfort of moving forward. Moving on allows you to open up space for what's truly meant for you. It creates room for healthier connections, for environments that support your growth, and for opportunities that align with your purpose. Sometimes moving on means cutting ties with people you thought would be in your life forever, and other times it means letting go of environments, jobs, or situations that no longer serve you. But whatever the case, remember this: moving on is an act of self-respect. You are choosing to no longer settle for less than you deserve. You are deciding that your peace, your joy, and your future are too important to be weighed down by people or places that cannot see your value. In the end, family, how people treat you is a reflection of who they are, not of who you are. But how you respond to that treatment is entirely within your control. You've got to recognize your own worth first, because if you don't know it, no one else will. Set your boundaries, and don't just set them, enforce them. Choose your silence over unnecessary arguments. Your peace is too precious to waste in the battlefield of petty disputes. Rise above their level, because you were made to walk in higher places, and when necessary, don't be afraid to move on. Walking away isn't a loss, it's a victory for your spirit, a declaration that you will no longer stand in places where your value isn't honored. Respect yourself enough to demand it from others. And remember, the power to handle disrespect lies not in how they treat you, but in how you respond. Remember, you don't need to prove your worth to anyone who refuses to see it. Your strength is in your ability to stay grounded, to maintain your dignity, and to never let someone else's lack of respect pull you down to their level. When you recognize your value, when you set those boundaries and enforce them, when you choose silence over senseless conflict and rise above the pettiness, you're showing that your peace, your joy, and your purpose are non-negotiable. And if the time comes where you have to move on, do it boldly. Letting go doesn't make you weak. It makes you wise. Moving forward without the weight of disrespect on your shoulders is an act of strength, of self-love, of claiming your space in this world. Understand that there's a freedom that comes when you step away from what no longer honors you and make room for what will. So stand firm in who you are and don't ever let anyone's lack of respect dim the light that's inside of you. The power is yours to take. You deserve to be respected, but first you must respect yourself enough to demand it and never settle for anything less. One of the most powerful ways to handle people who don't respect you is to lead by example. Often the way you treat others can be a mirror for how you expect to be treated in return. Even in the face of disrespect, you can choose to respond with grace, with dignity, and with self-control. This doesn't mean allowing people to walk over you or turning a blind eye to their behavior, but rather showing them through your actions the standard you live by. You see, when you maintain respect for others, even those who don't deserve it, you're sending a clear message. You will not allow their negativity to change who you are. Your character should not be dictated by someone else's lack of respect. Instead, you should stand firm in your values, showing others the way you expect to be treated by the way you treat them. This can be difficult, especially when your emotions are tested, but remember, your strength lies in your ability to remain grounded and unshaken. When you lead with respect, it's not just about them, it's about you maintaining your integrity, your peace, and your sense of self-worth. Over time, people begin to recognize that you are not someone to be disrespected, not because you demand it, but because you embody it. By leading by example, you raise the standard, showing that respect is a two-way street. And if they are unwilling to meet you there, you will not lower yourself to their level. Your example can be a silent yet powerful force that causes others to reevaluate how they treat you. And even if they don't change, you remain in control, standing tall in who you are. No one is meant to walk through life alone, especially when faced with people who continually disrespect you. It's essential to seek support and guidance from those who truly value and respect you. Surrounding yourself with positive, uplifting individuals reminds you of your worth and reinforces the boundaries you've set for yourself. These are the people who will encourage you, hold you accountable, and offer wisdom when you feel uncertain or drained by the negative treatment of others. When facing disrespect, it's easy to get caught up in your own thoughts, questioning whether you did something wrong or if you deserve better. That's why having a strong support system is so vital. People who love and respect you can help you see the situation from a clearer perspective and remind you of your value when you may forget it yourself. They will encourage you to stay strong in enforcing your boundaries, to rise above, and when necessary, to move on. Sometimes the counsel of a trusted friend, mentor, or advisor can provide insights you wouldn't see on your own. They can give you the strength to remain firm in who you are and the wisdom to navigate situations with grace and clarity. Seeking support doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're wise enough to know that community is a powerful tool in maintaining your self-respect. When you surround yourself with people who uplift you, you create an environment that protects your peace and strengthens your resolve, allowing you to handle disrespect from a place of confidence and inner strength.